I was very aware that if I asked somebody else to do Kingsman The Golden Circle, it would probably be a nightmare for them as much as a nightmare for me, and it'd be easier to just get back on the saddle. And I actually enjoyed making the first one so much and the characters that I wasn't even ready to let it go. So it was it felt like the right and natural thing to do. Eggsy's now very much the new Galahad in his own way, and he's a super spy. And then, you know, you got to, in movies, you got to make things difficult and give them problems. So I felt the easiest problem to do is just wipe out Kingsman. So he's, and find out how good an agent he really is. And then that sets them on a whole new journey of survival, as well as discovering that Kingsman is not the only secret organization of spies out there. And then that's why they meet the Statesman, and the Statesman and the Kingsman join up to save the world. I started doing my research, and I researched Kentucky and bourbon and the difference between bourbon and Scotch whiskey, and I thought, my God, this is just writing itself, and the script with the fact that it's whether drugs should be legalized or not, and alcohol and the drugs industry. And I found out that the alcohol industry spend more money making sure drugs are never legalized in America. And I thought, oh, well, hold on, this is just becoming its own thing. And I also loved the idea that these guys were billionaires, like typical Americans, that if they're successful, they're 1,000 times more successful than the Kingsman, that in the end they're still making suits and struggling probably to make a living as a tailor, but these guys are making a fortune of having the huge, you know, they're alcohol barons basically. And she is, you know, the best and most intelligent, well-organized, run drug dealer in the world, right? And she has taken over she has monopolized the drug business, but she still, as any drug lord is, stranded, hiding in Cambodia because it's not legal anywhere, so she's got everything but nothing. And I always think that's quite an interesting plot point. I like to villain that you have everything, but, you know, she's rich, she's got anything you can think of, but she hasn't got freedom, and without freedom, it doesn't matter how much money you have. The end result sometimes warrants the risk, and bringing Harry back could have been very divisive. It could have put as many people off as on. And I kept trying to explain this to Fox as well, saying, guys, we can't have the Bobby Ewing, hello, that was all a dream, coming out of the shower moment. And we have to handle it in a way and respect the audience, that we're not just making it up for the sake of it, and do it in a way that the audience can accept. And so far they have been. Although it's been very sweet, a lot of people have said, we don't care how you bring him back, he's back, and that's all that matters. But I had to do, I really, you know, when I wrote it, we were just very much trying to be as sensitive about it as possible and making sure it felt real. And I think it does. I mean, I think no one's had a problem. Everyone has bought the way we brought him back. He's grown up as Taron as a human being has really grown up. I mean, it was a little bit. There's one sequence in the flashback when you see him having his table manners scene, and he's a little baby boy in Kingsman. It really is, and now he's flourished into a man. I mean, the opening shot when he comes out, I mean, he really could be James Bond or Jason Bourne or whatever. He's now, okay, I'm on your level, guys. It's a nice feeling seeing somebody flourish. You know, I met this kid and he was at drama school. He'd never been on a film set before, and now he's walking on the set, 100% confident, knows what to do, he's flourishing. So what more can either he or I want? The fun thing about sequels is that you don't have to give the characters as much backstory, you know. So and there was all I wanted I just felt it'd be more fun that one of Eggsy's foes, there was a history, and that they really didn't like each other. And I felt I just felt Charlie was an interesting character in the first film, and I just liked the idea of a trained Kingsman agent going up against another nearly trained Kingsman agent who really didn't like each other, but then giving Charlie a few extra strengths to make him as equal, if not stronger, than Eggsy. Jeff was on set for 3.5 days, but it felt like he was on set for 3 weeks. And the level of detail for such a small character, and the background, and us sitting and discussing him for weeks before he turned up, and every little thing that he does is nothing by mistake. It's thought out, and he knew all the crew names, and he stayed on set, and he was a delight. So Eddie was right. I mean, there wasn't a bad moment or a bad take. He's definitely one of the boys. He turned up, again, professional, but he liked riff. I think he was a bit surprised how I was prepared. I really would push the envelope out, and I'd say, should we try this, should we try that? And I kept saying to him, there are no rules in Kingsman. Kingsman, we make our rules, we make up our boundaries, and then we smash them. And I think he really enjoyed the freedom that it gave. I've always had this image of doing an action sequence with Elton. I don't know where this came from. I had it in Kingsman 1. So I reached out to him and said, look, you guys couldn't do Kingsman 1. Please, please, please. Look, Kingsman 1 was a big hit. I've got this sequence, and I just pitched it to them. And I said, please, 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 trust me. And they're like, I don't know, Elton doing action, this doesn't sound right. And I was like, exactly. But everything I do doesn't sound right. And it's worked out. No, when you read it on the page, the studio go, okay, he's a lunatic, we're not making this film. And that was, you know, and I was like, Elton, please, please, please trust me, and we're gonna have fun with this. And he went, you know what, let's do it. He had a great line. He said to me, he says, look, what's the point of living if you take yourself too seriously? How are you going to ever enjoy life? It was so, and he went for it. He just, I don't know, he was just a delight. You know, we took English icons, and you know, an English gentleman with their umbrella was the obvious thing to have fun with, and Kingsman, the Secret Service. So on the Golden Circle, I was like, well, what's the American cowboy version of an umbrella? And I thought, dare I say it right or wrong now? So as Jeff said, you guys call it a rope. I think in England we call it a lasso, and then in America you call it a lasso. So there you go. That's the difference in the culture. We go lasso, you say lasso, blah blah blah. Anyway, a lasso or a lasso, which one is it? Say lasso. Okay, a lasso. I felt, let's have fun with that and turn that into the most kick-ass weapon. And so I thought, well, imagine it got electrified and it could cut through, and so that became the first thing. And then we thought we'd have the whip, which when it cracks, does a sonic boom. And then I thought, what about baseball bat that becomes a minesweeper, hand grenades, which are a baseball. So we just took all those American icons and turned them into weapons. I just thought, look, I got to grab everyone's attention, and I just thought, well, what's the best way of doing it? And again, when I was running the script, I always, you know, I like to start. I thought, we'll start in gold, golden circle, gold, gold, gold. We'll put, oh, it's the Kingsman sign. Oh, there he is. Okay, it's all nice and composed and relaxed, and then suddenly you're hanging on for dear life for 6 minutes, and then the other thing that made me laugh was that's the fight, and I thought, and then let's do the ultimate car chase, but with a cab. And I said, but how are we going to make it so it's different? I thought, well, let's build a cab that can actually do it instead of doing it all CG. So we built this cab. I think it had 680 horsepower. It had, you know, it's 4-wheel drive, but you can put all the power into any of the 4 wheels, and we can drift it. And so we suddenly built this amazing drifting black cab, and off we went and just design a great car chase. And then I wanted to do, and I thought, let's go underwater and have fun with, but do it with Eggsy as well, where the car goes underwater, but it's got no windscreen. So it's like, do you really want to go underwater in a submarine that's got a hole in it? No, but he has to. I said to Brad, look, we've got to reinvent cowboy Western style fighting. But at the same time, I said, look, we've got to do the barroom brawl, but it can't be the usual John Wayne style smashing everyone up. And he goes, there's this guy called Loop who can do all the gun tricks and all the whips, and Loop Rawlins, I think his name was, and Loop, and I met him, and he was, literally, I thought, oh my God, I've met the real Agent Whiskey. I mean, he literally dressed the part, he's got the accent, and the tricks he could do.